Thought it was a dingo, it's only the dogs. Well, alright, another beautiful night. Anyway, a lot of people ask me on my channel, why can't they come out where I do? They're happy they did at the Dald and Tate it. And, well, they're not allowed. This is private property. I'm allowed on, but I'm not allowed to bring anyone with me. That's the rules. I tried to get people on here, but property owners just won't have it. So how did I get on here? Well, many years ago, I came out here for something totally different. I spent 4 years wandering around this property without a metal detector. And I'd done a lot of work for the property owner. And I don't know what that was crawling up my boot. Eventually there was heaps of people out here metal detecting at that time. So I had a metal detector and I said, well, am I allowed to bring me metal detector out and have a swing? Being a property owner, we're good mates by now. And he goes, yeah, no worries. I said, my metal detector's pretty old. I'll update it. So I went out and bought the 2100. We are talking a couple of years back now. But it was out of date then. Found nothing. Bought the 2200. Found nothing. I moved up to the, I think it was the 3500, the 35. Wow, we're talking serious stuff now. Found nothing. And I got a 4000. And you wouldn't believe it. Found nothing. In total, I spent another 4 years wandering around with a metal detector in the same paddocks I am now, and found nothing. Not a single bit. So, how did I turn that around? Well, for starters, I pulled out the old doll pan and I started panning in all the fruits. I would take the dirt, bring it back to the river, pan it, see which fruits had doll in it, which ones didn't. So now I had an idea of where the doll was. But still couldn't find doll with a metal detector. Obviously doing something wrong. Anyway, a mate of mine rang me up and he said, you want a metal detector? Obviously by now you have a 6000. Well, I didn't. And I sort of wondered, well, why didn't I? So I went and priced one and chartered hours at Pete's Shop, and went to the bank and said, well, yeah, what's the repayments on one of those worth? Next thing I know, Pete's got one on charge and the bank's got the money in the bank. And, well, yeah, now I was in debt. Alright, I was with the property owner come down having beer with me. Yeah, where were we up to? That's right, I bought the 6000. Well, after 4 years of wandering around finding nothing, I don't want to spend all this money on a detector. Wow. I wasn't feeling real happy about the idea by the time I got out here. I had time to think about it. I put myself in the debt, hoping to find something I haven't been able to find yet. But first, all I did with the 6000, I pulled up a $1,000 nugget. Now, ever since then, I'd probably average a nugget every day on out here. Today, nothing out of the ordinary today, I pulled up 10 nuggets. They weren't very big. In total, there was 4 grams. but still, that's not bad. It pays for me fuel money and a bit over. So why did the 6000 find gold where the other metal detectors didn't? Well, turns out all the gold I found with the 6000 I would have found with any one of those detectors. The problem was the other detectors I bought really cheap. And by the time you sell one, you add a few more dollars, buy another one. You're not in debt. So you come out here, swing it for half an hour, go over beer. But when I bought the 6000, I was in debt. I had to make it pay. Suddenly, I'd got to make it work. I'd got to actually did every target. I'd got to put the hours in. I'd got to work from sunrise to sunset to try and pay for this thing. And, well, pretty well, that first hole, $1,000. I just sell that detector for $1,000 less than I paid for it, and I'd broken even on the very first hole. Because you don't really need to pay for the whole detector. You only need to find enough gold to cover what it's worth when you sell it. And so yeah. And then I went out and bought the 7000, and the 7000's already paid for itself. It pulled up an ounce nut at a few weeks back. Ounce and a third, something like that. Well, I got that detector rather cheap, so as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, it's paid for itself definitely. The two of them have, the 6 and the 7. My other detectors don't seem to be paying for themselves because I never get to use them. They're there for those times that the other two won't handle the metal and the crap in the ground. So that's the reason they're there. And so yeah, it's more the attitude, not the detector. It's the guy swinging it has got to have the right frame of mind. And when you find that first gold nugget, everything makes a little bit more sense. And you don't find that gold nugget unless you're out there swinging. Most of the gold nuggets I find are not in the old tailing piles. They're not in the old workings, but you can see the old workings most of the time from where I am. I'm usually a couple hundred metres away or on the top of the next hill or something from the old workings. So the old timers will point you in the right direction, but it's up to you to swing the magic wand and find that magic sound. And it's out there. There's a lot of dirt in between, and you have to put a lot of effort into it. But once you put the effort in, find what you're looking for. I find gold here all the time because I spent so long here. I know what soil to look for and where roughly to find it, because I test banded all the fruits, because I'd done all the hard yards. It's taken me years and years to get onto this property, get good with the farmer, and there's a lot of work involved. But you got to put the effort in if you want to do a hobby like this and actually do it well. Anyway, that's my little bit. I hope somebody found some value out of it.